Hello. Thank you for joining me, tell you the truth, for your new emerging energy for the week of July 23rd through the 29th. So, this is actually a really powerful week that you're joining me. We have some major things going on in the sky right now that are affecting us. Mercury goes retrograde July 26th, as well as Mars going into retrograde. We have a full moon lunar eclipse on Friday, July 27th, which will be the longest lunar eclipse of this century, which is amazing. Also, the sun goes into Leo this week, so lots will be highlighted. And I just wanted to start off with letting everybody know that I've been really felt drawn to do this the last couple weeks, and I'm finally getting my act together and doing this for the greater good, as well as for myself and all the light workers and beautiful people out there listening. So saying that, I wanted to start off with the topic of relationships, and this week having to do with relationships, whether it's in love, whether it's in the career field, whether it's one of your friends, co-workers, anything like that. So this week, with your relationships, I wanted to express that we need to be aware of when the ego creeps up. We need to be aware when we're competing with other people. I think this lunar eclipse is going to illuminate a lot of the shadow sides of our being that we don't necessarily want to see. And this might be something that you really need to look. You don't have to tell anybody else, but you need to look within yourself, whether it's journaling. Do you have a competitive streak? Are you resentful of somebody at work? Is there something going on where you don't feel worthy, or you feel less than somebody else? And how is that making you feel, and how do you want to go about that? A lot of times I've been reaching out this month, especially with gratitude and healing a lot of my ego-ness with gratitude, and making sure that I have been stable and not putting or projecting anything onto anybody else. So I feel like this week there is going to be a moment or a situation where there's going to be this urge to compete, this urge to have an empty win that just makes you feel a little bit better, but is really essentially wasted energy. But when that happens, go into yourself and see where that is coming from. See what you can do about it. And maybe it's something that is something that you are willing to heal this week. A lot of this shadow stuff is going to be coming up right now. So the more aware that we are of what we need to heal within ourselves, the more whole of people we can be in order to heal the world together. So that being said, I felt that energy, as well as I feel like there's a lot of enthusiasm and wanting to move forward, even though Mars is going into retrograde on July 22nd. I feel like we're kind of getting this push and pull of, oh my gosh, I really, really feel called to do this. Oh my gosh, like it's going to be so exciting. But also we're thinking about the stress that's going to come on to that, and like, are we ready to make this big leap? Or, there's a lot of worry and fear, as well as a sense of adventure. But I also, there's impatience and stress. So try not to make any hasty choices. maybe a pro and con list, or meditate over if you have a decision. Make sure that it is the right choice, because with this full moon energy, the next 6 months, this is going to influence the next 6 months. So just make sure that these choices are grounded and they're not just something on a whim, because that could take you in a direction that you don't necessarily want to go in the future, but feels good in the moment. And I understand that, but we still need to make sure to kind of look within, and even though there's that sense of adventure and enthusiasm and you want to move forward with things, make sure that it's the right decision for you. And I also think, so this is kind of the middle of the week, and I also think by the end of the week, we're going to see some sense of satisfaction in our relationships and in our career. I really do feel like there's been a lot of transitions this month, with people ending jobs or starting new jobs, different career changes, a lot of different ways of expressing creativity that didn't normally used to get expressed the way that we do. So maybe you used to write a lot and now you're painting. Maybe you used to sing and now you're writing. There's a lot of different things that I think this forward energy that I was talking about is kind of morphing everybody and kind of giving them samples of what is really going to work for them in the future. And it's hard to let go of some of the stuff that I think we kind of are comfortable with, that's so easy and creative. But if you get a sense of calling of, hey, you know what, like tie-dye is a way that I want to express myself, or teaching is something that I really, really feel called to do, even though I've never thought about it before, go ahead and like really explore that. You don't actually have to take an action on it, but maybe it's good to explore that and really understand and get clarity on what it is that you would want to move forward for the next 6 months. Because this is a big, like I said, this is a big week. So whatever decisions that you are going to make sure that you really think them out well. So that's what I feel for the love and the career and the friends for this week. I know Venus is in Virgo right now, so therefore there's a lot of attention to detail with the relationships, a lot of try not to be too analytical about stuff, but there's a lot of earth energy going around. So remember to stay grounded. And I think people with a lot of earth in their charts will be able to do that. So as far as the energy goes for inward work, now this is all really inward work, even as to do with relationships and with mirroring and all of this. But on an inner level, I think sometimes, and being an introvert myself, I think sometimes we tend to, these hurt and wounded things come up, and we don't talk to people about it, and we don't really say a lot about it, and that's okay, but sometimes we need to work through them. So for the energy for inner work this week, I really want you to pay attention. I really want all of us to pay attention of when we're wearing a mask, when we're being fake, when we are kind of just going by society's rules because we think it's the right thing to do and that we should do that. It's not necessarily good to be inauthentic. Now, there's always tact, I think, but also you need to be authentic. You need to talk about your truth. And if there's something that is really bothering you, make sure that you're not hiding that from yourself. I think a lot of times there's things that come up, these wounds and these hurts that are coming up, that we push back down. And there's a reason they're coming up. There's a reason that they want to come up to the surface, is so that we can look at them and we can release them and let them go, and they might have served you in the past, but a lot of stuff, it's time to let go of a lot of this junk that is not serving you anymore. I know something that I've been working on a lot lately has been resentment and holding on to resentment, when really, if I'm not telling anybody any of this, it's really me who is the one that's getting wounded by this and nobody else. So we really do need to be able to let that go. And also just be our authentic selves. And I just wanted to also kind of say we need to steer clear of all of this negative media. Listen to your body. If your body is tense when you're watching the news, if your body is not feeling well, if you're clenching your jaw or you're biting your nails or something like that when you're watching a show, a program, the news, whatever it is, notice how your body reacts to that, and maybe honor your body about that, because that really needs to be something that we pay more attention to. It's not always good to watch so much negative all the shows and all the horror movies and the news, and everything is all about stress and worry, and we really need to get rid of that in our life. Even I know Reddit and stuff is really fun, but then sometimes it can turn very dark. So just be aware of what you're intaking into your mental mind. And I do feel like this week there is going to be an inner struggle that you don't necessarily want to talk about. And that might even affect other people surrounding you in your relationships. Even if you don't audibly say what's going on with you, they're going to be able to feel that. So what are you holding on to that doesn't serve you? And if you are holding on to it, is it worth it? Is it worth it to hold on to this? It might be, but really, really dive deep with that and think about it. Another thing this week is giving and receiving. I think a lot of us that like to give, it's hard to receive. And so making sure that we are letting go of always being the giver and taking the help that has been offered, and not always being an island, and really accepting help this week, and letting go again of all of these wounds that have been hardening us as people. It's time to be vulnerable, and I know that vulnerability is hard, especially in America, but it's time to be vulnerable, and we need to really join with everybody else and focus on the gratitude. And we don't, and when we participate in this gratitude, we can share it with others. We don't want to be the person at the party that's not having a good time, that's standing by the wall and just looking at everybody else that's laughing and having a good time. Let's be the people that are playing the games, that are having the fun, that are laughing, So I really feel like that's what we're called to do. And I think that by the end of the week, a lot of this is going to lead to a big healing and seeing yourself in an authentic and beautiful new light. We are evolving, and I feel like the energy is going faster and faster and pushing us more, but we have to see this in a good way. It's hard sometimes, but it's also so beautiful that we get to live in this era and we get to experience this evolution at this rate. We can do so much with it. So this week is time to start a new chapter. What are you thinking of doing? What do you want to do that's new and beautiful? So with that, the focus of this week, I want you guys to also focus on your family. And what is the quality time that you are having with your family? Is there something in your house or in your home that you can make more comfortable? Is there something that you're kind of thinking like, oh, maybe I should change out that chair, it's not comfortable anymore, or maybe, I need to clean the pantry, give some stuff to Goodwill, whatever it is. I feel like it's time to kind of clean out all of that stuff and really prepare for a more comforting, nurturing environment for your family. And even new recipes, try out some new recipes, have some board, go and play board games with your family. It's always fun, quality time. Maybe turn the TV off for a little bit. So I think with all of this, I'm going to leave you with a meditation and a healing process, really. So I want you guys to release this dark wound that is coming up and really let love in. I don't want you guys to give up on your dreams. I don't want you guys to think that it's not possible, because this is the time of possibilities, especially for light workers, especially for people that really want to see a change in the world. This is our time. This is our time to rise up and show people how to really live a genuine and beautiful, authentic life that you want. So no more dark wounds. Let those shadows rise. Let them rise. Let them be puffs of air that just fly away. Because once we become these beautiful beings of light, we can share so much more light with others. So in this, I want to close with a healing process. Now, you don't have to say this out loud, but I feel like it has more power when you do. So the healing process is saying to yourself, I now choose of my own free will to release all cellular memories and belief systems based in the dark wound of criticism, judgment, shaming, and fear, so that my creative, loving energy may thrive in a nourishing environment conducive to growth. Through all time and space, through all dimensions of my being, through unconditional love, so be it. If you just say that 3 times, that is going to help you align with your true purpose, align with why you're here, align with the light within, so that you can radiate to others and we can spread this beautiful love together. I'm going to say it one more time. I now choose of my own free will to release all cellular memories and belief systems based in the dark wound of criticism, judgment, shaming, and fear, so that my creative, loving energy may thrive in a nourishing environment conducive to growth. Through all time and space, through all dimensions of my being, through unconditional love, so be it. Have a lovely and beautiful transformation week. Namaste, lovelies.